Oh, you got right timing on this one. Speaking of Microsoft and Xbox, um, so E3 is 3 months away. For a lot of people in the game industry and the press side, it's all a collective like an ugh no. And for a lot of us like who are excited for the event, that are like fans, it's like hey, this is gonna be awesome. But things are starting to roll in for E3. One of which was Microsoft's information regarding its date and location for their press conference. This was reported by Eurogamer.net, written by Weasley in Pool. Microsoft has announced its plans for E3 2018 and it's doing things a little differently this year. In previous years, Microsoft had a major presence on the Los Angeles Convention Center show floor with a mammoth booth in which games were playable and executives and developers demoed their titles. This year, Microsoft will use nearby Microsoft Theater to host hands-on gameplay and demos. Crucially, it is also use the Microsoft Theater for its media briefing. Traditionally, Microsoft used the Gallon Center for its big press conference. In a post, Xbox Wire, Mike Nicholas, corporate vice president and chief marketing officer at Xbox, said Microsoft will still have a presence on the convention floor, show floor, but it will be dedicated to Mixer, the company's Twitch competitor. That's interesting. And the date, and as far as like when it's happening, it's going to be on June 10th, 1 p.m. PST. That's interesting. Okay. What day is that land on? Let me double check here. So the reason I brought this story,
whatever day it lands on, it's the exact same fucking weekend as my sister and brother or my brother-in-law's roofing convention.
What? Okay.
Every year they ask me to watch my nephews for a week because they're going to be gone for a week. And during that exact same week as E3, every single year. And so I just get irritated. This year I'm saying no. Like this year I'm gonna be like nope.
So it's on a Sunday. And I'm expecting a lot of these other companies kind of do the same thing regarding like, hey, we're gonna have our press conference like a day or two prior to E3 because.
Oh my God! You want to get those burps out before you continue talking?
Right. It'll come and go. But like,
I'm telling my stomach gotta fucking do its things.
But like in regards to just kind of around the corner for E3, a lot of things coming announced that some of these companies are going to do their own thing or regarding what they're going to show off at this year's E3. So here's the thing. I think we talked about this on this podcast, years ago, that E3 as a show is not as big as and popular as it was in the yesteryear, and that these companies can particularly do a Nintendo, they can do their own thing and have their own event, and seeing that Microsoft's kind of taken I won't say a low-key approach to this year's E3, doesn't particularly say that, but kind of does. But I also wanted to just to speak about as far as like what exactly does Microsoft have to show for this year's E3, because I feel like
well,
yeah, go ahead.
From personal experience, Nintendo and Sony are killing Microsoft in the exclusive category.
Agreed. Yes.
So whatever Microsoft has to show, it had better be some exciting exclusives. Or at the very fucking least, like, hey, you know all those games that are seemingly exclusive to Windows 10? Well, if you buy it on our website, you can download it on Xbox One. Like, that shit would be dope. Being able to play any fucking PC game on console?
Yeah.
Dope.
Yeah, definitely.
That would hurt, like, Sony big time. I think personally, I still think that Nintendo's in its own category. Like, they're really not competing with Sony or Microsoft. But they haven't been for years, really. Because I honestly believe that most people who own like either the PlayStation or the Xbox, they also own a Switch.
Yeah.
I feel like that's just the way that it is right now. So, what I'd also like to see Microsoft do is something that PlayStation kind of did but didn't. I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah,
I know that they want to make the accessibility for people who maybe can't afford a $500 console. I keep looking at my camera like you guys can see me. Um, uh, but the issue that comes with that whole thing is that, like I said, games that run on a regular Xbox run a little bit slower than ones on an Xbox One X.
yeah,
And when I'm playing online with friends, that becomes a little bit of an issue.
Mm-hmm.
Like, even take Rainbow Six Siege, for example. Like, everyone's picked their operator. I've picked my operator. But you can tell who has Xbox One X's and who doesn't, because at the top part of the screen, where it shows everyone's little square for not only classes, but loading in the map, the people who have an Xbox One X load immediately, and they're ready to go. But the people who don't have one are still loading in a little bit. That's a little bit of an issue, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe like have announcing an update for that or something like that. I don't know, but
yeah, it would have to be quality of life things when it comes to the console. Regards to
absolutely,
when it comes to games, that they definitely need some new IPs. Because there's the kind of still running the old gauntlet of like Halo, of Gears. Like that is not. It's still big, but it's not as huge as it was back then, or today than it was back then. They really need to rely on some new indies, like maybe get some big ports that were thought to be only PS4 exclusive that are coming to the Xbox One and One X. They were definitely doing that last year at last year's E3, announcing that PUBG is going to be coming to Xbox One. So definitely it's going to be a whole wide of things that they need to do. I think that as far as what other things they need to announce to get people to come onto their platform, it had to be some other big things down the pipeline that you and I won't know regarding. It could be like
absolutely. Like I don't want to predict. I don't want to have predicted anything.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
Yeah, I think a good start though. Do you think a price cut you be announced at E3 for Microsoft or?
No, not this year at least. I don't think it's been long enough for the One X or the S to have a price cut. Plus, the S is like $250.
That's
really,
true.
It's a lot more.
That's true. Yeah.
Like honestly, if there was a parent who didn't know shit about video games and they went to the store, the Xbox One S is clearly the best buy of the three, just because it is the cheapest console.
Yeah. It's kind of weird situation for Microsoft. Like I'm not quite sure where you go from here. Like again, like the only thing I think of is just like new IPs, or maybe bring some like games that people have forgotten that is going to be coming exclusively to the Xbox One or on there first, and then the other consoles.
More stuff in regards to like Cuphead or PUBG.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
said,
definitely.
Like, those were really smart. Like, here's the other thing you have to keep in mind. They absolutely cannot make an exclusive game Xbox. Every single game that Microsoft produces from here on out has to be in that cross-play category.
It has to. Yes, I agree. I wholeheartedly agree. It has to be cross-platform with their Windows 10 PC for sure.
Right. Exactly. So I don't know. I'm looking forward to it. I don't want to see any more bullshit like fucking, we have a car out here to showcase like Forza. Like, just show Forza. People like Forza. Just show the game. You don't have to show a car on stage. Nobody cares.
Right. That was hilarious. Yeah, like it's definitely gonna come down to just showing some new games for a lot of us to get excited about, and with companies that maybe getting their first try at a game, or maybe are familiar faces. I will say though, like I kind of wonder if Microsoft's maybe they need to push for the indies. Maybe they also need to push for the indies on their platform as with Nintendo, but I don't know.
I personally feel like when you go into the Xbox store, there's a ton of indie games, like a ton. I just, my thing is that the indie games that are on the Xbox, I feel work better on a Switch just because of the portability. Like today, for example, Jason wanted me to play Mario Kart 8, and I was like, I can't because I'm going to go watch Thor Ragnarok, which I'd already seen. But then it dawned on me I could play while watching Thor Ragnarok. So, same goes for like any indie game that's on both that's on both Xbox and Switch. I'm gonna get it for the Switch over the Xbox. So, I mean, yeah, more indie games, great, but I want more exclusive indie games that I can't get on my Switch. That's what I'm looking for.
If Microsoft, if you're listening, if you want to make me happy, make another Mega Assault. That'll be dope. That'd be dope.
I can almost promise you that'll never happen, but you can wish.
Hey, I could dream, can I?
You can. I'm gonna shoot it down though.
Yeah,